My name's Sam, I'm the team leader. This is Matt, Kane, Holly, Callum, Michael and Sean. We're from Beamont Collegiate Academy and our name's Next Generation V2. The problem in the generation that children does not understand the value of money, and we believe that our project will help to develop children to understand the value of money.
The age range is 5 to 11 years old. The reason is that our app is very child-friendly, and anyone over than the age of 11 will think it's very childish. It's a game with very bright colours and funny characters. In the future we will develop an app for different age ranges.
We decided to create an interactive app to inform youngsters about banking. We thought of requirements for our app and we created a prototype that we'll show you today.
Some of the benefits of our app are that it will help the younger generation. They will learn how banking works and how to use credit cards and debit cards. They will also use how to deposit money into the bank and how to take it out. And if they're with a parent or any guardian, they will learn how to pay with the till and use the correct change.
If we were to take the app into full development, then we would try to get copyright from companies like Disney for their characters.
This is an idea of what the app might look like.
As you can see on this app, you can go into the shop and pay for any, like a can of soda, an apple or a packet of crisps. And each time you go into the shop, it will change price, and also you can change character. And as you will see on the left-hand side of it, it shows how much you got in the bank. As you leave and enter the bank, you can withdraw, £1, £10 or £100. And each time you spend it and go back to the bank, the amount of money you spend will automatically go back into the bank. That's it. Has anyone got any questions?
You haven't covered off in there your development costs, so your business case needs to include your costings. So what will it cost to develop and run this service?
We said that it would be about 5,500 for 11 days. We don't really quite know.
Say if each week we'll work on one Monday, and one Monday times 52 weeks, and if we pay £500 over that week, so it will be £26,000 for cost. And we would pay £500 to each person and the amount of days it would cost to develop the app. And the management time would be 11 days, and that would be £5,500 just on every single Monday for a year.
Great, thank you. So you're planning on developing it yourselves as part of a school project, which is great. How are you going to earn that money? So who's going to provide you with that money for the business case?
Well, we're costing the 75p for the app,
Right.
so we'll make money from that. And if like characters and who want to get involved in it, we'll probably get the money from that as well.
Okay. And one other thing, so I can see how I spend money and I can see how I use the bank, and I do like your graphics. I think that's a really good demo that you've put together there. Well done with that. How do I earn money? So how does my bank account get filled up?
In the full version, there'll be mini games where you can earn money, and you can also change what your character looks like and have better character customization.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So just, sorry, if I can pick up on the financials as well. You talked about it costing £500 a day to develop the app, and then you said you're going to charge 75p a download for each app, but you're not going to make any money until the app's developed. So are you going to work for free while you develop the app and then pay yourselves back once you get the downloads?
We're not quite sure.
That's okay. But it's just something to think about. So if you want to cover, if you're gonna be working freelance for a company to develop an app, you may have to take that cost on before you start selling your product. So in the scenario you've set out, you've obviously thought about how much your time is worth, which is very good. But then you have to figure out how you're going to pay yourself or how you will make that money, which I think is the point Angela was making. For you to think about. So that was good. I really liked the use of technology where you showed us what the app was going to look like. I'm guessing that if you were successful in receiving funding to get this off the ground, you'd develop out the product a bit more. So what exactly would you say to a young person about a 9 to 13-year-old that you're targeting? Is that the audience?
5 to 11.
5 to 11, excuse me. A 5 to 11-year-old. And how you would target a 5 to an 11-year-old to learn on what they would actually learn. Also, I have a 5-year-old, so while she's very good on technology, she's still learning to read. So thinking about how you would get that across to that age range as well. Have you given that any thought, or is that in phase 2?
We could do like the writing read out to them, or like have it really simplistic so they do understand it.
Okay, good. So you're all up on stage. Is this your full team?
Yeah.
How did you guys work together? Who was responsible for what?
I was the team leader.
Yep.
Callum developed the app. Michael helped with it, and these did the presentation. So but at first we all came around, made ideas on a board, and we put them into requirements, and trying to figure out where they go and what we actually properly need.
And to identify this, we use Moscow. Must, should, couldn't, and won't to identify it as well.
Oh, good. I just learned something. I didn't know about Moscow.
I've seen that in your pack. So well done for that and for producing your requirements. So as team leader, what was the most difficult part of being the team leader? Did you have to break up any fights?
I think the difficult bit was bringing them together as a team, but I think we was all right as we developed on.
Good. I really like your business case. I think it was well thought out. I'd say the same thing I would say to any group. Just really be thoughtful about language, grammar, punctuation, font sizes. When you're presenting something, you want to put your best foot forward on this. So on these sorts of things, get somebody else to look at them, like what we said with the first group. Have other people check it. Have other people give you critical feedback. Do it amongst your team as well. So that's if one person or two people were putting this business case together, then 2 people could be responsible for reviewing that afterwards, and giving feedback, constructive criticism on that. I think that's very, very good. I particularly like the wolf diagram. I'm not sure what that stands for, but I think it's interesting on the screen.
And good use of Prezi as well, which is a good presentation tool. It does make it more interactive as things sweep around. So I think you've made good use of the technology to produce your presentation as well.
Thank you.
So well done for that. Okay, that's our questions. So any questions from the floor?
Should we go over here first to you? So just so that we get that on the screen, in the future versions of the app, will there be more opportunities to go between other areas besides a bank and a shop? Was that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, we decided that we just did it like that because it was 5 to 11 years. We didn't want to make it too complicated. But as we develop it, there'll be different sections for teenagers, adults, people in college and stuff like older generation as well. And for people that are deaf or blind or something like that. Sorry.
Great, perfect. The gentleman in the blue tie.
When you say you plan on appealing to other age ranges, how do you plan on doing that? So the question was, how are you going to appeal to other age ranges?
Well, what we thought was, When they open the app, there would be a little stage where they would type the age in and an instruction page, and once they've typed that age in, there will be take them to another page where that will teach them about singing, so it'll be more advanced as the age range you type in.
Okay. Helps if I turn my microphone on. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, let's go to you next. You've had your hand up for a while.
I really like that box of mobile. I don't know how does it relate to the game?
So how does this
That's
image
our
relate to
logo
the
for
game?
our next
That's your brand, is it?
generation.
That's your brand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And somebody have their hand up over there?
Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah. Oh, sorry, there. Okay.
I noticed you developed it on Scratch, and that's for Windows. How would you go about developing for phone, tablets?
Nice. Yeah. So you developed it in Scratch, but how would you make it work on tablets?
We'd actually use a proper programming language rather than a block-based language.
Right.
To develop it, something like Python or JavaScript.
Okay.
To make it and then publish it on the app stores.
Are you the tech specialist on this team? You sound like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well done.
I guess so.
Okay. All right. 2 questions at the back here. Yep.
If you were going to change the programming language, how much would that give you? How much units would be possible to develop?
Okay. So this is the finance person now. So if you're going to be changing the language, there's going to be a cost. You're quite right. So who's going to answer that question?
It depends what language we're going to use to code it. Because if you use Python, you can pretty much do it for free. Yeah. Whereas if you use something else, it could charge.
I think it's more about the time it takes to develop it rather than buying the license for the software. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, and how to load it into the store as well, yeah. All those sort of costs. Have you thought about those?
It's about £100 to put it on each app store.
Okay. So this is a level of detail you'd go to in your business case if you're going to do another iteration, right? It's that sort of level of detail. Good spot. Yeah, and another question here? No, change your mind. All right, any other questions?
I've got one follow-up question, please,
Okay.
Julian. So, sorry, you've mentioned some programming languages there, and you've also mentioned knowing the costing of them. Have you done some programming?
Yeah, in our computer science lessons.
Right, what have you developed so far?
Just like inputs so far.
Yeah, no, good. Good,
Very good.
Interesting.
Any final questions, feedback, judges?
Fine from me, thank you.
No, I thought great presentation, guys. I particularly liked that you clearly thought about the technology side, and you have a technology expert on your team.
Always helps.
So always helps.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have people like me. But well done on that, because you know what you're talking about, and that was very clear.
Yeah.
You'll soon be working here, I suspect.
Oh, we've got another late question. Right, final question, then we'll go to a break.
How do you suppose to advertise this application?
So how are you going to advertise it?
We would advertise on TV, like some other apps like Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Also, we would do it on the internet and ask, can we advertise on Facebook or any other internet websites that your generation would use, so that their parents would see it, look at it, and then probably download it for their children.
Okay. Connor, is it a quick one?
Yeah.
Go on.
When you said that you're going to put it on TV, that's going to be very expensive. And 75p, kind of consider very popular, so they get a lot of money. That's how they can afford to get a TV. But how are you going to afford to get a TV?
So if you're only doing a 75p download charge, how are you going to be able to pay for it to go onto TV?
Well, what we would do first is put it on a website, any website first, and because it's 75p, if we charge, say 65 people bought it first, that would cost £48 and 75p just for that 65 people. But if more did it, it would cost, obviously bring up the cost more, so we would obviously put that to one side and save it to advertise it on TV.
Okay, you'd have to do a lot of downloads, I think is what you're saying.
There'd have to be a lot of saving in there.
It would, it would.
One thing to possibly think about is product placement. So you have a bank in there.
Yeah.
So one thing that you could do, and this is to help the banks with educating people about money and stopping people getting into debt. So one of the things that you could think about is approaching a bank to ask them if they want to stick their logo onto your bank and pay you for the right to do that.
A bit like Talk do on X Factor.
Yeah,
There's Talk
absolutely.
everywhere you go in X
Everywhere.
Factor house, right?
Yeah.
For any of you that watch it. Very good. So you guys did a first to do live demo, so that was great. Again, my feedback would be if you don't know the answer, it's better to say you've raised a great point. and I'll pick up with you offline rather than we're not sure. If you're saying we're not sure, you're not going to make a sale. If the judges have money, you're not going to make a sale if you're using language like we're not sure, okay? And again, you still all look like you're really scared at the back there. Don't forget the stage is yours to use. Other than that, you had about 86 questions, so you did exceptionally well. I'm loving all the questions, by the way, from everybody today. You're a tough crowd, so all much appreciated, but well done indeed. You've done a good job. Right, so you know I mentioned to you about time management. I didn't start off on a